Good morning, my dear students. I welcome you all for Commerce class. Today, we are going to continue with chapter 21, the Sale of Goods Act 1930, that is part 2. Part 2, we are going to deal with types of goods and passing of property. So, listen carefully, students. It will be very interesting and it will be very different also. So, listen carefully. Types of goods. The term goods mean every kind of movable property other than actionable claim and money. So, the term actionable claim means what? Debt secured by a mortgage of immovable property. That is, the amount which has been got by mortgaging a property. Immovable property like land, building. So, fixed deposit receipt, dividend on shares, etc. Amount under LIC policy, claim for rent which falls due in future, etc. comes under the money actionable claim. Okay, so the goods will not come under this. So the term goods includes what? Includes shares, stocks, growing crops, grass, things attached to the land or forming part of the land agreed to be cut off from the land before sale. Example of goods are trees grows on land agreed to be sold after harvesting. Then goodwill, copyright, trademark, patents, water, gas, electricity, power, etc. which comes under the contract of sale. As commerce students in 11th standard itself, you would have known about what is goodwill, copyright, trademark, patents. So these are also comes under the contract of sale. So the diagram which is given exhibits the type of goods covered under the Sales of Goods Act. There are three types of goods, that is existing goods, future goods and contingent. Existing goods again is divided into three types, that is specific goods, ascertained goods and unascertained goods. Here existing goods refers to the goods which is being sold immediately, and future goods means it will be sold at a future period, later period, and contingent goods means it will may or may not be sold. So those goods are called as contingent goods. So let us discuss that in detail one by one. Students, it will be very interesting. Do listen carefully. So existing goods means existing goods are those goods are possessed by the seller and owned by the seller at the time of contract of sale. So immediately it will be owned by the seller. So the goods possessed even refer to sale by agents or by pledges. So these goods will be sold by agents, those who are working under the sellers. So these existing goods may be either specific goods, ascertained goods and generic or unascertained goods. So let us discuss that in detail, students. So first we'll move on with what is specific goods. Specific means what? One thing which has been identified correctly, that is called specific. So the specific goods denote goods identified and agreed upon at the time of contract of sale. For example, if a buyer selects a particular variety of saree after examining several other sarees. So as you know, ladies itself means what they will do, they will try to examine several the sarees for buying one saree. So the selected one denotes specific goods. So the selected piece of saree, the selected saree denotes the specific good which a buyer purchases. Next we'll move on with ascertained goods. These ascertained goods are also similar to the meaning of specific goods, but this term may even refer to goods which become ascertained subsequent to the formation of a contract. Ascertained means once immediately when it is bought is termed as ascertained goods. Next we'll move on with unascertained goods or generic goods. So these goods which are not identified and agreed upon at the time of contract of sale. During the contract of sale it will not be identified or sold, but after later on it will be purchased. That is termed as unascertained goods. So example, if A wants to buy a car in a showroom, what he will do? Normally, he will move to the showroom and he will see different models and different prices which have been displayed in that showroom. So all these displayed models represents what? Unascertained goods, that is which is not bought by anyone. As you see in that picture, there are different cars displayed. So these are termed as unascertained goods. So next we'll move on with future goods. That means these goods will be possessed at the later time, later period. So these are goods which a seller does not possess at the time of contract of sale, but which will be manufactured or produced or acquired by him after entering into the contract of sale agreement. For example, a contractor A agrees to supply 100 bags of rice to B for giving marriage feast. So during the time of marriage, A agrees to give 100 bags of rice to B. So what they will do? That supplier, he has to give the goods. It is an example of future contract, that is future date, later period. On that particular marriage feast alone, he will supply the goods. So future goods represent unascertained goods. Next we'll move on with contingent goods. So contingent goods are the goods the acquisition of which by the seller depends upon a certain contingencies. Contingencies means may or may not happen. What? The particular event. Suppose for example, this contingent goods are part of future goods only. When A agrees to sell a particular painting work provided he gets from C, okay, from C he has to get A and he has to give to the other person. So in this case, the painting work represents what? Contingent goods. That situation, that event may or may not happen, may or may not get from C. That is what. Similarly, a rice merchant agrees to supply 10 bags of basmati rice from Pakistan if he gets supplies. That's all. If he gets from Pakistan, he will supply the goods. That particular rice merchant. So in this case, that basmati rice representing the contingent goods. That is, that particular product may or may not be available to the rice merchant. In this picture, when you see order placed for basmati rice, that is the contingent good example. So the contingent situation 1 and contingent situation 2. Received basmati rice, that is situation 1. Sale executed. Okay. Next situation 2. Not get supply of basmati rice. So when they are not getting supply of basmati rice, normally sales will not take place. That is sale, no sale is mentioned there. Here a picture is given for you to take a look of it of transfer of ownership. Okay. How the ownership gets transferred from a seller to the buyer. Next we'll move on with transfer of ownership. So the transfer of property or ownership in goods from the seller to the buyer is the main object of the contract of sale. The term property in goods must be distinguished from possession of goods. So property in goods means what? The ownership of goods, while possession of goods refers to the custody of goods or control over the goods. So it may be the custody or control over the goods. For example, if A may possess a watch. Possess means what? Having a watch. So just by having a watch, A cannot be a owner. He might have borrowed the watch from his friend or even can have stolen the watch from somebody or found it on any highways or any road by side. So in such a case, he cannot be called the owner of the watch. It is important to know the precise moment of time at which the ownership in goods passes from seller to buyer. Only when a person purchases a product from a seller, then only the transfer of ownership will take place. Transfer of ownership means what? Passing of property. That is, transfer of title of a property is called as transfer of property or passing of property to another person. This passing of property is of 3 different ways. That is, for the specific goods, for the unascertained goods, and goods sent on approval. So specific goods is again divided into 2 ways. That is, at the time of contract, if not beyond the date of contract. So in detail, we will see this topic of passing of property tomorrow, students. Now this part gets over with this. Thank you, students.